Hey, folks. I thought it would be great to talk about time management here because it seems to be one of the biggest topics that people ask about or ask for when we're doing our workshops and our training when it comes to high performance for business professionals. And it's actually a misnomer. I want to dispel the myth of time management or time mastery. There's a ton of time management programs and I'm not knocking them because I think some of them are very good. I'm going to say the vast majority of them are kind of overkill because it's hard to follow a system step by step that applies to every single person out there because every single person has different lives, has different routines, has a different family, has a different mindset, and a different situation altogether. So to try to implement a time management program that is effective for every single person out there is almost virtually impossible. But there are key concepts and key principles that I do believe leads to someone being more productive and to lead to a higher level of performance. That's ultimately what it is. First of all, there is no such thing as time management. You cannot manage time because you have no impact or influence on time. Literally, think about it. The sun comes up at a certain time, you don't manage that whatsoever. And the sun goes down at a certain time, you don't manage that whatsoever. But what you do manage is how effective you are or how you manage yourself within time. That is a difference. So you can't manage time, but you can manage yourself within time. And that's where the secret is. So let's talk about the key principles or fundamental elements behind being more productive or mastering yourself within time. Because if you learn to do this effectively, you can easily double your productivity, triple your productivity. We've even had people get up to 400 or 500% productivity. And it's incredible what you're able to accomplish, and this is very indicative of organizations as well, because a lot of businesses feel like they're efficient, but once you actually go in there and you take a look at how efficient and effective they are, you'll, and on average, you will find that most organizations are less than 50% efficiency. Like it's just incredible how inefficient or effective organizations are. Now, when you take a look at people, human beings, from our experience and our research, what we've established is that the vast majority of people are operating between 50 to 70% of their performance potential. And performance includes a number of different elements like accuracy, quantity, quality. There's a number of other factors that we have, particularly 10. And that actually is the main thing that you want to be looking at when it comes to your level of potential or performance. And can you increase that? And the answer is absolutely if you take these elements into consideration. So let's get right into it. How do you actually be more effective? How do you be more productive? And for those of you who like to use the term time management, how do you manage time more effectively? The first one is you have to manage your priorities. First of all, it's easier said than done, but it's a very simple practice if you actually implement it. That is, every single day, taking a look at your priorities and establishing what is the most important thing that you need to do, the top 1 to 3 things. But that comes in alignment with what your goals are, your 1 year goals. So it's hard to set your priorities if you don't know what your 1 year goals are. If the 1 year goals aren't in front of you, if you haven't written them down, if you don't know them off by heart, because life catches up, work catches up. We're always swiped by stuff that just comes into our, whether it's our visual field or just people throw stuff into our desk or on our desk or bring problems to us or we get distracted. Sometimes it's just stuff that we think is cool or stuff that we need to address that has no bearing on achieving that 1 year goal. So, priorities, setting priorities on a consistent, regular basis is absolutely important. We get people to set their priorities on a weekly basis. We call it the weekly recalibration because sometimes it's tough to do on a daily basis. If you're trying to set your priorities on a daily basis, it's difficult because a lot of people already have their day scheduled. If you look at your day timer or your calendar, it's already booked up. So, how do you change things? How do you modify your priorities if things are already booked up? It's a lot more challenging. But if you do it a week in advance, if you set your priorities a week in advance, it's a lot easier to do. If you set it a couple of weeks in advance, it's it's easier as well. I don't recommend doing it any longer than 2 weeks because things change. The world is changing rapidly. Family stuff comes up, so it's hard to change things if you're planning. I'm going to say trying to set your priorities 3 weeks in advance or a month in advance is very, very difficult. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you have to manage your focus. And this is a challenge for so many people because our focus is being attacked. And there's a difference between focus and attention, but I'm just going to lump them together here because your ability to focus, pay attention, and concentrate on the stuff that you need to concentrate, which should be your priorities, is challenging and is being challenged every single day because our brains are actually being bombarded by so much information, so much more information than we were 5 years ago or 10 years ago. Plus, we have smartphones, smartphone addiction, social media. We have the ability to connect with each other in an instant and expect a response in an instant. And so our focus is easily taken away from our priorities. So managing our focus is important. And I can tell you, our focus is a skill. It's a skill that can be practiced. One of the things that's been shown to improve it is mindfulness, and it's probably one of the only things. Plus, there's a few visual field exercises that you can do because our focus typically revolves around our visual field, what we look at. So if we are distracted by a notification, our focus will go there, right? So that's exactly what ends up happening. Pop up. So if you have any pop ups on your screen, kill them. If you have any notifications that pop up on your phone, kill them. You don't want that because that's going to distract you. So managing your focus is the first thing. Managing distractions is the next thing. Yes, just like focus, you have to manage distractions. So if you know that you're getting distracted by things, you have to manage those things effectively. So it could be notifications. It could be Slack notifications. It could be WhatsApp notifications. It could be emails. For the vast majority of professionals, it's emails. You want to manage those emails effectively, and there's a method behind that. But doing that and minimizing your distractions or removing them altogether is very important. So a simple exercise is just identify what your biggest distractions are. Just write them down. And if you don't know, well, then just go throughout the day. And as soon as something distracts you, write it down. So you will have a list of distractions that you have. And then you go through an exercise of how do I minimize or reduce or just get rid of these distractions whatsoever. And yes, it requires discipline. Yes, it requires you to say no to people. Yes, it requires you to do things that you know, perhaps put off the exciting things. So, for example, people just tend to, when they're bored, because our brain naturally does get bored when we're focused on something, we have a tendency to maybe look at our phones or see who's emailed us or look something up on the internet. You have to remove those distractions. So that can be intentional in terms of putting software on your computer or on your phone to say, don't allow these apps to work during this period of time. And these things do work. Yes. So you have to manage distractions just like you manage your focus. And then you also have to manage the fourth element is managing energy because we all naturally have more energy certain times of the day, certain time periods of the day, but also during we have more energy when we interact with different people, when we interact with different things. So if I know that I'm going to go into a meeting that's going to be draining my energy, oh man, I know not to do high energy stuff after that because my energy is going to be drained from those meetings. So maybe I'll just do some administrative task that doesn't require a lot of energy after that. But perhaps there's meetings that actually energize you. Perhaps there's interactions or tasks or activities that energize you. Those are the ones that you want to pay attention to. And so when you have low energy activities, things that drain you, you want to try to minimize those as well. So get to know your energy levels. Get to know if you have more energy in the morning or more energy in the afternoon. For me personally, I have chosen not to do any major work or make any major decisions in the evenings now. It's just something that I've learned. It works out very well for me because I know I have lower energy. And if I spend the evenings trying to work or do things, it's not as effective as actually recovering so that I can actually have more energy for the morning. And that's what leads to my level of high performance. So this is something to pay attention to is what are your energy levels and how do you manage them effectively? And yes, there's a strategy behind that as well. There's a system behind that as well. And if you're interested, you can always feel free to reach out to myself or my team. Just simply go to email team@sangha, SANGHAX.com, and just let us know that you're interested in learning more about managing your energy. And the fifth element is, something just as important, which is a bigger ball game as well, and that is managing your mindset. And your mindset is simply your way of thinking. And your mindset includes so many different things. Your mindset includes elements of your personality, your identity, your beliefs, your stories. It could be even elements of your emotions, for example, past experiences, the information that's in front of you, your decision making. You can say heuristics or your the typical ways that you make decisions. All of these things have an impact on your mindset. So you have to manage your mindset effectively. So if you know how you think, because we all have certain patterns of thinking, and you can identify what your patterns of thinking are and actually modify your patterns of thinking, which can be done. Yes, people call it the growth mindset. You can absolutely change your mindset, and changing your mindset is probably one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful thing you can do in life by modifying your way of thinking. And there are elements, and you can do it. For those of you or us who feel like, yes, we're stuck in our way of thinking, or we just keep coming up with the same challenges or the same ways of thinking, and we know better, we tell ourselves, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. I know better, but we still get caught in the same traps. There is a way out of that. There is a better way. There's a methodology for that as well. So, what we call managing your focus, your energy, and your mindset is managing your state. And your state is how you show up every moment. How you think, act, and feel every moment is your state. And managing your state is a key part of being more productive and improving your performance. So, again, for those of you who like to use the word time management, if you manage your state more effectively, you will actually get more done. And one of our most popular workshops, it's phenomenal how popular this has become now, is how to get more work done in less time without burning out. We do it for organizations, we do it for business leaders, we do it for groups of CEOs. It's incredible because they absolutely love it, because that's what it's all about. Time management is really about this. How do you get more work done in less time without burning yourself out? Because then you have the extra hours, the extra energy, the extra, you can say, inspiration to do other things that you want to in life. And for the vast majority of people, it's actually enjoying their life. It's actually spending time with their family or time doing the things that they enjoy doing, like hobbies or sports or all the things that you've put aside because you're so busy working or taking care of other people in your life, like your family members. So let's just quickly summarize this, and I think it's very important, is that there's no such thing as time management. It's more important to manage yourself within time. And it comes down to 5 elements, which is basically managing your priorities, managing your focus, managing distractions, managing your energy levels, and managing your mindset and growing your mindset. If you do those 5 things, if you manage those 5 things, you're well on your way of being more productive, more efficient, more effective, and having more time and energy to do the things that you enjoy doing in life and living a completely different type of life. And that's what we call having true and proper work-life harmony.